everybody, Master Dave here with this episode of The Breakdown, and a little different this time. We're going to be talking about a martial art from my heritage, Portugal. This is jogo de pau, or the game of the staff. Right, so watch the demonstration. We're going to break down the techniques and explain why they're valuable to you in the martial arts. Okay, we'll see you there. Alright, so let's talk about that. So that's Portuguese staff fighting. Now, like most European arts, they've been lost to time. Portuguese jogo de pau and French savate, one of the few European arts that are still in existence and not recreated. I mean recreated is, there are a lot of European arts that have come in a resurgence, mostly other fencing systems, and they are basically recreated out of Asian martial arts through maybe some manuals, but we don't know if they're accurate. But jogo de pau is accurate. It's still in existence from the medieval times. Realistically, this is a sword style. Okay, you can see it's like a long broadsword. They have a Portuguese sword. It's like a claymore from Scotland, very big, and hence why we use a lot of those strikes, because you're throwing a heavy weapon. Now, what's interesting is this was developed in North Portugal, where my family is from, in the exact village where they were from, Montalegre. And in Trás-as-Montes, they would practice this in lieu of using a sword because metal was very expensive. And it's interesting that the creator that they assume, Dom Duarte, made a system that could be interchangeable with a sword, a battle axe, or a staff. So anybody could pick up a weapon. Just over time, this became preferred because it's something you always carry. You use it for farming, and it was mostly farmers who used this. Now, farmers tend to make what you would call an insurgent martial art, something that would battle against trained soldiers. So, like American revolutionaries, they were insurgents against the British, so this was something that was easy to pick up and unassuming. Now, there's a couple ways they get size. They don't go by feet. It's very similar to how they would do in Kung Fu. You want a staff to your chin. That makes a good size. I like that. It gives me a nice kind of feel. I use it a little longer sometimes. You want kind of up to the head. My mom prefers it when you do that. You fight one-handed this way when it's extra long. I'm not a fan of that system. It's a very advanced system. My mother, that's how she used to fight, right here. Similar to African stick fighting. So she was very good at just using one long staff in one arm. And you got something like this. This is more for a kid. This is rattan. It's similar to what you would find in Portugal as far as lemon wood, which would be a light, heavy wood, but not as flexible as rattan, but close. So this is the one I prefer. All right. Now you saw me do some twirls and stuff. I do that for show, and I did do some Japanese versions of this, but you know, it's just really to kind of exercise my wrist. It's not really combat oriented, and my mother hates it when I do that, but everyone thinks it looks cool. Now, the strikes, if you look at the footwork, I'm going to get a little farther here. You're going to use awkward looking footwork, and you have to remember they were in the mountains, so it's very, very rugged, so you have to have good grip. So one of the most common strikes is you're going to hold always bottom 2/3, like a sword. So this hand here, this hand close to the middle, and it slides to make the grip, or you can use it as a block this way, but this hand stays fixed, just like a sword. So it makes it very easy to learn, very similar to Chinese lance. So if I come from here, if I want to make a head strike, I bring my feet in, I strike. You see it comes here and goes like that. Now, the poke, very dangerous, but very effective. And if you're good, you can hit the face with it. You don't want to do that with partners, obviously, but that's kind of like one of the attacks here, even coming from the side this way, or coming even here and striking across, just like a sword. This butt here, turning the hip, coming to the head. They also have their oblique strike, and then they always spin to generate force. Okay, so very crude, but effective martial art. And I think that's what makes it beautiful because it's going back to basics. This was designed by simple people to handle a situation, and it is effective. They even used this in World War I, because back then rifles didn't shoot like they do in World War II, where they could shoot multiple rounds. So you had time, and they would sometimes run out of bullets. They would take their rifle and use it as a staff. And in fact, you can see in World War I photos, the Portuguese that participated had a staff on their backpack, and they would use it in combat in World War I. Of course, that wasn't possible after that, but still interesting how, turn of the century, they still were using this as a self-defense tool in combat. Okay, guys, that's it. It's a beautiful system. You got leg strikes. You can even have fighting from the ground. I encourage you to look it up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.